Why Frankfurt?
Why Frankfurt?
Yes.
That's a good question. You see here on this brochure, that's a very interesting location because we can combine advantages from both sides, German and Polish advantages, close together. Because it was one city, and you see that it's one area, and we have so close cooperations that a business idea dealing with Poland and Germany, then that is here the right location because we have a lot of experiences, we have a lot of infrastructure, cross-border infrastructure, we have a Europe university, that means we have the intellectual atmosphere to promote projects, and we are not so far from Berlin. Mm-hmm. It's about 1 hour away.
1 hour.
One hour by car. Yes, by car. And you know that the new international airport, I expect finished in the next month. It's also close 45 minutes away from there. Mm-hmm. And we are also located on the so-called Corridor 2 from the European Union. That means 70% of the east-west traffic passes this city. And that's why our infrastructure is focused on east-west logistics. We have developed a so-called container terminal with trains from the havens, from the North Sea havens on one side, from the Polish industrial areas in the south and in the east. And we have trains also from Russia. And so it's possible to use this area for changing the carriers or to make working in containers. That means stripping and stuffing of containers and so on, and all logistic services are very well located here. We have bilingual people that helps also to come in the markets, on the Polish and on the German side. That is what we focus.
Bilingual, you mean German and Polish?
And Germany and Polish, yeah. And both together, it's an interesting market. 80 million people on the German side, 40 million people on the Polish side, both together 120. And more and more the Polish market is interesting, and that's why companies located on the German side are looking across the border and say we can enlarge our investments, we can enlarge our business activities to the east. Otherwise, Polish with an international background are interested to come to here because they can also develop their business from the Polish side to the German side, and both together that makes sense.
Sure, but wouldn't it make sense given that the border doesn't really exist? I mean, there is a border, obviously.
Yes,
there are two countries, right? But they are both parts of the European Union. It's so much easier to trade right now. Wouldn't it make a lot of sense for companies to actually invest in Słubice and also operate? It's cheaper. I mean, Poland still is cheaper than Germany.
It depends. Maybe an example: if you want to invest in an innovative, technology-driven industry, you need a really strong infrastructure, and we have this infrastructure more on the German side. That means we have the water supply and wastewater systems, electricity support, and so on. That makes more sense to do it on the German side. If you are more focused on logistics, not so strong infrastructure is required, and you are more focused on cheaper labor costs, of course it makes more sense to do it on the Polish side. Mm-hmm. But you have to figure out what is the best. But nevertheless, if you do it on the German side, you have access to the Polish, and if you do it on the Polish side, you have access to the German, and that makes sense to do it together. And for instance, people working here in the so-called Collegium Polonicum are living on the German side, for instance, across the border every day. Mm-hmm. And so that makes sense to combine the advantages.
And what are the main sectors you would like to attract investments to? What kind of sectors?
Logistics, I mentioned that. That is one important aspect. A further one is microelectronic. We have really a strong history in microelectronics. You know, we have an institute with over 300 engineers and scientists, and the greatest part of the stuff from foreign countries come from Poland. That's interesting. And so we have a lot of new microelectronic systems in a high frequency area, and that is a further aspect to attract companies in this field. Otherwise, we have the Europe University dealing with different topics and economy. And so it is interesting to settle down services with an intellectual background, maybe to develop business concepts or to attract institutes dealing with cross-border business and so on. That is a further point. And we have further small and medium-sized companies working together with a microelectronic institute, for instance, creating new designs for electronic systems and something like that.
All right, great.
Right.
So that's the end of elevator pitch. And now, how do you approach investors? How do you promote? Wait, do you mind? Jay was supposed to take a photo of us talking about it.
I think.
How do you promote a city? What do you do? I mean, you're now in MIPIM.
We use the whole toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
We are here at the exhibition, of course. We have direct contacts to investors. We organizing different meetings in the city. We invite journalists or we invite investors. We are take part at special exhibitions in Japan, in the States, all over Europe, and in several cases together with all partners in Poland.
Right.
So we promote a two national or a double city. And that is really very interesting. You see, we have one logo.
Yeah.
That is a common logo.
Exactly. So how does the cooperation work? What do you tell me more about this initiative? I mean, you have one logo.
We have a cooperation on different levels and in different fields. Of course, in culture, we have a long tradition over 30, 40 years. We have come festivals in music and other areas. That is one field. We have a Europe University, a cross-border activity together with the Collegium Polonicum and the Adam Mickiewicz University.
Right?
Yes, this is
so we're talking about two cities. I'm just saying that for the record.
Yes. Okay.
Frankfurt on the other, and
on the other side, cooperation between Frankfurt, Oder, and Słubice, of course. And we have a common economic development agency. Słubice is a shareholder, and Frankfurt, Oder too. And we have a common European project to attract investments, very focused on the border situation, in the paper industry, in the service sector, in call center sector, and so on.
So I'm right.
Yes.
The International Investment Promotion Agency.
Well, you know, so to say, yes.
Binational.
Binational. That's right. Yeah, and because we are looking more on one city. And that's why sometimes we don't have in mind that there are two cities, because we do a lot together and we promote this location together, and it's binational. And that is very interesting. And you see, we come close together because it was here, this logo was a decision of the deputies in Poland and in Frankfurt Oder, in Słubice and in Frankfurt Oder. It has both parliaments have voted for a common logo, and you see, without borders, I think that is I think ohne Grenzen, yeah. That is, I think, the future.
And are your colleagues from Słubice here as well in Cannes, or you're representing both cities?
Here we are alone, but interesting is in 2 days I'm in Nîmes, and Nîmes is not so far away from here, and I'm together with my colleague Tomasz Cicewicz. We opened together in Nîmes a common exhibition. As a mayor of Słubice, and we opened together a photo exhibition in Nîmes. And so we promote the region also in our partner city Nîmes together.
Has thinking of residents of Frankfurt changed about residents of Słubice? I mean, since 2004, pretty much there's a free access to Germany right now, right?
Yes, of course.
No, it feels more like one city than it used to. I would imagine.
Of course, it needs time, of course, but the people come closer and closer together. You have no control anymore. At the moment, we built down here the former buildings here for control and so on. It's totally open. And now we are planning this area new. We want to rebuild this area with services, cross-border services, and office for the German side and also for the Polish side.
So it's not uncommon for people to just pop by in Poland because, I don't know, they like Polish bread better than German. Just go, or whatever.
They are more and more open.
Yeah.
The older ones, of course, they have more the history in mind, of course, on the Polish and on the German side. But the young people, especially the students from the Europe University, they are looking at that in a total different way. It's open, it's Europe, and they like the German advantages of the culture. They cross the border and go in a restaurant, and so that's really an add value here in this location.
So, if I understand well, the university you're referring to is the Viadrina, right?
Yes, that's the Viadrina.
And Viadrina has campuses in both cities, or?
It has a campus here on the German side, and here on this side is a so-called Collegium Polonicum. That is a common institute of the Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznan and the Europe University.
Right.
And so the people can they can study on both sides. That's possible, but it's so separate. It's two different organizations, but it's a common project.
Or they can study here.
They can study here. They can.
It's cheaper to party here.
That's also a possibility. Yes, of course.
All right, cool. And my very final question is, how much this is actually the advantage that it's one city, two nations, and how much it's an obstacle when it comes to promoting investment? Or an obstacle saying this is actually a competitor after all, you know?
Of course, we are in one case also competitors, but it depends from the kind of investment. What is the best, this side or the other? And that's why I think we put our advantages together, and then the investor decided to go on this or on this side.
Sure.
And we promote the region together, and at the end the investor decides for his investment, of course. But it makes sense because if we do it together, otherwise our competitors are far away from Frankfurt or far away from Subice. And if we do it together, I think we have both an advantage.
Sure. Just one question. How big Frankfurt is?
We have 60,000, Subice 18,000, and we have a lot of people in the surrounding.
Right. Okay.
A lot of people. We have commuters every day. 50% of all the jobs we offer were used by the people come from outside.
Right.
That's we are a development center of the whole region.
Perfect.
Good.
Maya, thank you so much for your time.
Very interesting.